Welcome back, everybody. My name is Donovan. Thank you so much for joining me today, and welcome back to the Great American Adventure in Planet Coaster 2. I got a lot to show you. I have been working pretty hard on getting some stuff done, getting this main street done for you guys, and I have a lot of special things. One of them is in the background there, so we can start moving on to the meat and potatoes of our park. Even though I think the entrance and the turnstiles and the main street is, if not one of the most important things, other than attractions and rides, but my whole philosophy on this whole thing is it sets a standard for going forward into what to expect from the rest of the park. So you want to get it right. You want to set the right tone. So I think what we've done so far has officially set up kind of where I want to take the rest of the park. So let's take a look. So I want you, if you want a reference of where we are and where we've been. So this is our main turns, or I guess entrance here. This is where you would get dropped off by the tram, and you would have your turnstiles, your tickets, guest services. Let's turn this on. I actually have it on pause. If you guys are not playing this game, I pause it so it doesn't rain. Because once it gets into the weather of raining, it rains forever. So I kind of had it paused while I build. Nobody's in my park just yet. But so this is kind of where you start. And there's a parking lot back there, and that's not done quite yet. So I wanted to get done this section over here. But we come down this hill, if you will, and we have our first kind of weenie, if you want to call it that. It's our train station. This is a non-operable train station. I really don't plan for anybody to really kind of go into this. Any people in the game. These are fake stairs that I built. I've been fiddling around with how to do stairs, and it's kind of a bear with our pathing, and it's not the greatest. Like, I don't know if you can do this. Maybe you can. I just didn't have the patience, to be honest. But I've kind of decorated this a little bit. It's kind of more of a decorative centerpiece, trying to separate your entrance to your main street. So I thought this actually turned out pretty good. There's some still work to be done over here. But yeah, I got, I need to do a little bit more plussing on this, but I kind of want to get this, looking pretty good to show you guys for the episode. And I've had some of these buildings in the last episode, but I kind of want to point them out again. How the main street is pretty much how it's staying, unless I get a wild hair and something changes drastically, and we get some more content, or I guess pieces or assets in the game in future expansions, DLCs. So far, this is really kind of how we're staying with it. So again, we come through here, and we have this kind of centerpiece with the American flag, the main building in the back, which we don't know still what that's going to be. Maybe it's going to be like the museum, or the welcome center, something like that. I do want to get some streetmosphere going along in here, maybe some vendors, carts, those types of things, and the big T's over here behind here. The thing that took me the longest, I think, for this episode, and maybe so far, maybe besides the main entrance, is our Main Street Theater. This thing, I think, not to pat myself on the back, but this thing, I think, turned out so good. I'm super happy with this. And believe it or not, this is a Six Flags reference. I couldn't tell you what Six Flags. I follow a lot of theme park, just generic stuff on Instagram, and this like blue sky building I think popped up. I could be totally wrong, and I was like, I screenshotted it and I was like, I want to build that. And the windows are the water pieces. I'm stuck. But yeah, so these here are from another set off of the workshop. But everything else I built by hand. I wanted something to kind of anchor it, bookends on each side. What I did here is I took these wooden support blanked, thick curved, and I scaled them to Kingdom Come, and I ended up going in here with these resort balcony pieces, and just angled them all the way up. It took a good amount of time, and then what I did is I pretty much copied it and did it again. And with the beams here in the middle, these are actually metal support beams. I doubled them, so they're like, what are they? They're these guys. Oh. The metal beam, and I just placed them and brought it around and lined them up. So if you wanted to get a nice looking beam like this, that's exactly what these are. These are kind of tilted, and that's what these are as well. And what I did differently with this is, let's see, no, it's not gonna let me. There you go. These are wooden support planks just turned sideways to kind of give a depth and a kind of a texture to these to make them stand out a little bit. I built these doors here, and when we get glass pieces on the 12th, we'll fill these in. And kind of same thing, I took some metal beams and did these outlines doors and made the ones that kind of push in, and it has the mechanism. Kind of wanted to recreate that. I thought they turned out pretty good. Nothing too crazy, but overall I think it looks really, really good. It goes all the way through. So yeah, I guess we have some room in here to maybe actually add a theater or a stage. I was looking on the workshop and I saw some people had some stages built. They might be a little big. But we'll figure something out. Yeah, so I think that would be really cool to actually build out this interior. And I wanted to show you kind of what the iteration for. So I've wanted a Main Street Theater, a part of this project since day one. And I just didn't know what route to go in. So I've built a couple. This was my first one, and I think it was just way too big. Just didn't, I like got to here and I was like, nope, we're not doing that. It's just massive. So I kept this. I wanted to show it to you. And then I went down a scale and I started building this. And again, I didn't like it. It just lacked something. So I scrapped that. And then I took some pieces off of this guy that did some work. Let's see. He's like doing a studio park build, a Walt Disney Studio Park. And of course, I can't find him now. Or maybe they're under facilities. Let's see. Yeah. So I took some of this, and then he had this other building here, and I took the tower and I kind of made this. I was like, it doesn't really stand out as a theater. I changed it a little bit around, and I do like this for maybe something, but just not a theater. So that's how I came up with this. I went back to thinking about it, and that Instagram post came up, and I was like, yep, that's it, and I love it. So we're keeping it. That's how it is, and we're moving forward. So hopefully you guys like it, because I spent a lot of time on it. So we're here with Main Street. What I ended up doing is this building here ended. Sorry, my mouse is being all kinds of crazy. So this building ended here, and I ended up putting behind the scenes, I guess, shops or facilities and stuff like that in this back section behind this. So I just kind of built this out really quickly to kind of take away that sight line. So I'll show you that in a second. But I think this right here is so great. So let's see. If you're standing here, and we'll speed up so we can see the coaster go over the hill. Oh. But look, isn't that, I just think that's so great. You're standing here and you see that. I would be so excited, just like the unknown, be like, oh my gosh, what coaster is that? If you've never been to the park before and you see that, I think that'd be awesome. So that's why I did that. Originally, I wanted to build a launched RMC behind this building and have some form of hill. If we get that, we might go back to the drawing board on this coaster. I like how it is right now, but if we do get a launch, kind of like the I think it's Outlaw Run, that's launched hill, something like that is kind of what I had in mind. But we don't have a launched RMC, so we have to do or make do. So I think you'll see this in a second, but I think you'll like that. But yeah, so when we come down here, I still need to fill this all in with some more scenery. Let's see, some plants. But when you get down to this section, you can take a left and split left, or you can split right. If we go back here, so this is a building off the workshop. I thought this was super great. I love turn of century architecture, even though it doesn't really it fits in. It doesn't I think it all kind of blends in pretty well together. Mind some of these things I am not completely done with placing everything, so apologies for these lamp posts and things. So what I did is, this was the original end to this side of the main street, and I saw this was the Roast Room Coffee House, and I was like, oh, that's super cool. We're taking the path to the right, and I wanted something on this corner, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted, if I wanted a corner building. Well, what I ended up doing, and it actually turned out really cool, is I made the coffee shop have a little, outside section. And if we play it, I put a coffee machine, or a coffee cup, on the wall, and it's smoking like it's hot coffee, with a little effect there. I thought that was super cool, and I kind of love this. And we don't really have a billboard yet that really you can put whatever you want on it, so I just kind of put this random sign here that kind of takes you away to a different place, type of thing. It doesn't really go, but it goes for now. Put some string lights up, set the mood. If it's kind of dark out, it's a nice place to stay, have a cup of coffee or some small bites. I thought that was super cool. And then we if we go down here, got a little bit more Main Street, and this is going to be a whole nother section, like its own land, if you will. It is wheelchair accessible, got an elevator there, super cool. So you can enter down here, go on up, enter up here, go down. Got a ramp. I guess you can take your wheelchair down there, but it's pretty steep. But what we have over here, so it ends here, and this is our backstage. So, just some warehouses, some pumps. I wish I could take credit for this, but I just found this on the workshop and I thought it was brilliant. I don't know it's kind of dark in there. But I thought these were just awesome. So, and it fit exactly what I wanted to do. So yeah, this is kind of all backstage. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Look at these, like a forklift. That's great. That's so great. And then this building here, so great. It has like props and stuff, any maintenance stuff for the park. You can take it out there. There's a side entrance over here. And this goes back over here, and there's some more backstage. We're not done yet, but there'll probably be a service road that goes over there. And here's our fake wall over here I was telling you about earlier. But if we go around here, look at this thing. I found this on the workshop. That's absolutely incredible. I got a little breaks section, like a smoke area, or if people want to take their lunch, whatever it may be. And we probably will clutter this up a little bit more, but I thought this was so great. We're going to be building a couple gates, so don't worry about that. I have not even began to think about that just yet, but trees and some beautification will be coming soon, or a little bit more. I think this looks fine now if you're walking over. It kind of hides it pretty well, but we'll hide it a little bit more. So the idea is to come down here, and we're going to have my whole thing about this park is I want several different elevations throughout the park, and not just one flat area. And I think, right off the get-go, from the entrance down to Main Street into another level, super great. So not really sure what we're gonna have planned down here. I've been thinking about a few things. Maybe we'll have our first attempt at a dark ride. A flat ride over here is probably well needed. We'll see what we can get over here. But I want kind of have maybe a themed area. So kind of stick with one theme and have maybe a story for this area down here. And kind of what I did, and this was all intentional, is this is going to be one big plaza. There's going to be like shops and restaurants and stuff like that. And then there's going to be kind of a viewing platform, and you're just going to come up here, and you're going to be able to watch this roller coaster come through. Let's see. I sit here. There we go. Come over that drop. See that wall ride there. And you can't really see where it went. And so you just wait for it, and you'll have this nice, like, a viewing platform. Comes over this hill here, and then screams right past you. I think that'd be super awesome. A super cool photo op. I may go back in here and kind of get a nice little more wall ride as you go by. I think that'd be super nice. So yeah, what do you guys think? I'm starting to love this, and you start to work on some things and you start to get burnt out. But it's funny enough, there might be like some burnout on, like, if I'm working on a particular building or something and I just can't get it right. But overall, I'm really loving the park, and I can't wait just to play more and see where we can take this. I'm really excited to fill this whole thing in. Hopefully you're along for the ride with me with that. But yeah, let me know kind of what your thoughts so far is. I'm digging it. I'm loving it. I think this whole thing's coming together really, really well. I don't have the speed as some of these other guys that are on here on YouTube building these parks. I wish I did. I wish I was a good enough builder to have a really good pace going, but I think what we've turned out so far and just in the last couple weeks has been super fine with me, and we're just gonna keep on going. And what we'll leave with is a ride on the unnamed coaster. So we'll have to get a name for it. I know. I'm a coaster enthusiast. I'm not a coaster expert, so I apologize if things are not right. I need to add a trim section or block section or whatever, so we can get a couple more trains on here. I know that I built this literally tonight. I wanted to get something in for this episode more than just buildings, so I'm going to go back in here and fiddle with it a little bit more. But let's take a ride on it, shall we? We'll close it, open it, and we'll go on our very first maiden ride on the first ride in Great American Adventure. Absolutely love that. I'm here for it. Hopefully you are too. And I will. And you can kind of look over, see Main Street, the rest of the park. Great views. Here we go. All right. I like it. I do like it. I always say this, like, I love the look of it. It kind of feels the pacing feels a little slow in the back end. But it's a good looking coaster, I think. I love this bank here that faces to the left, and this bank here that faces to the right. I think that looks really good. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the coaster. Maybe a name for it. Of course, we're going for Great American Adventure, something in that realm. And like an Independence Americana name would be super great. But yeah, let me know what you think of the progress so far. And what I'm gonna focus on next episode is really detailing the coaster out, putting the station in, putting the queue, detailing around a beautifying the area, and then we're going to start on this section down here, the hollow, or whatever you want to call that down there. So I'm really excited. We have some really, really good progress, and I'm just really excited for what to come. All right, guys. Well, if you made it this far, thank you so much. If if you like what you see, I'd absolutely appreciate it. If you want to consider subscribing, and we're going to be making videos in Planet Coaster 2 and some other content on other games weekly. And if you want to see more of that, consider subscribing, and I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, guys. Take it easy. All right. Bye.